Part 4 of our Talk for Writing scheme within Tango is reading as reader. Now, insofar as how Pi Corbett has structured this would be the point where the kids move away from just learning about the text orally and repeating and retelling it, and moving into the writing at some stage. So that's a case of big book work. Creating stuff handwritten in books and then potentially sending stuff back for marking. We can do some stuff with collaboration to that end, but before we get to that, I want to look at actually how we can reuse the idea of story maps to be able to help accomplish some of the stuff that would allow them to read with confidence. So, reading as reader, as you can see, this part's come from the Talk for Writing website as normal, but if I go across the next page, I've got, once again, a PDF of the work and also a story map that another group have done, and kind of taking away the complicated words and just making them into different images. And you can see this has been done on an actual whiteboard. People have used, the person responsible has used post-it notes and drawing and so on and so forth, and that's great. But again, if you're like me and you're not particularly artistically minded, what I've done with Tango is to create a series of PNG images, and you can see there's a bank of stuff that I've already put down there. To get those, what I've done is, away from the board, I've gone online, I've searched for things like sheep PNG, and I've stuck them into a folder. That folder that you can see from here, if I go to my desktop, and I go to specifically where I've hidden it, desktop, and I go to Talk for Writing, you can see I've got a series of things that I've already saved ready for this session. I've already created them and brought them in, but it's just a question of selecting that from the file, selecting the image you want, and it will immediately populate. So I can do this quicker. And if there are kids who want to add something a bit more specific, we can go back to that and search the internet as well. So to give it context, rather than just go through it and try and line up different images to it, what I'm going to do is we're going to go through the Talk for Writing bit here and work from it. But also, in planning, what I've done is I've taken a Word document of the same stuff, so exactly the same story, but I have whited out certain words. And the way I've done that, in effect, is to select up here, choose a line size that's comparable to what's there, change the colour to white, and then effectively where it says once, I can just ink it out. So it acts to some extent like whiteout. You can do that with any colour by selecting, pressing and holding on the area in question. So if it was pink, for example, you can pick a colour and it will automatically populate here. So you'll always be able to give the impression of having erased words. So once upon a time, I can clear that by clearing the annotation. Once upon a time there was a sheep and a goat, as we can tell from there. But I don't want to be using this. I want the kids to have started to remember it. I want them to start remembering that this will fit. So once upon a time, there was a... That's a cow. I've got that the wrong way around. There was a sheep and a goat. So I bring that in and place that there. Now it doesn't appear that I've got the goat there, so to prove how easy it is, I go to this, I either find it from here and select it, and bring it straight in, or I search for it in the banner at the top. But in this case, there was a sheep and a goat who lived on there. Now, this is a bit more complex. I can't really think of a way to put side, so I put an arrow in. So the side of, oops, send that to the back. By putting that, by tapping on that last, effectively it's brought it to the front. So as long as I make sure that that's always at the back by pressing this one, it will always be in the right place. Who lived on the side of a hill. Dead simple. So yes, I would never say that this is a bad idea. I would always say work with physical stuff, as I said in the previous videos. But if you can't, if you've got the time or if you've got the inclination to do things differently, that's how I would do it here, by bringing in things like this. When it comes to more complex words, so there's a part in the story on the second page where the wolves arrive, that the grey legs, so they don't even refer to the wolves as wolves, it's just the grey legs, came creeping. So that's when I use things like GIFs, because it's all well and good to have stuff here. So if I go to goat again and search PNG, it's going to find all those images of goats that are good to use here. Videos as well for sounds, as we've done before, but it's also going to search for GIFs. Now the GIFs in this section can be a bit odd. They don't always seem to follow, but if you can do the preparation in advance, you can start finding stuff like this. So when I found this mask GIF, which if I put next to it, it's creating the same impression as the map here, the story map, but instead I've created it with a kind of live action stuff to give it that sense of engagement that may otherwise not be there. And that's about it. When it comes to the earlier or the other elements of what we have here, about the fluency, about making sure the vocabulary is of clear understanding tone, I'd say that that's where we use collaboration. And to get the collaboration going, select collaboration at the bottom, select that there, and what we mean by collaboration, as you may have seen from other videos, you're ideally using a tablet or another PC or some sort of digital hardware that allows you to take photos of the stuff that the learners are doing in their books. If it's an iPad, for example, you can collaborate up by selecting this, QR coding up with the iPad, and or putting in that URL, selecting the pin code, and then you'll get a reflection of the screen. So you can send stuff up that you're doing either from here to the learner, or if the learner wants to take photos of what they're doing in their big book work, they can immediately populate the screen with it. I'm not going to go into too much detail as to how to do that because there are previous Tango videos that do that, but I will be using it at a later date within this as well. So, I hope that's been good, and next up we have the line by line.